vocabulary. Who needs it? Hi, Darklies. Hi, how are ya? We gonna have to have a chat because January, I have a bone to pick with January, okay? Because we wasn't off to a great start. No, 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 no. Wait. Before I start ranting and rambling, let's have a beverage. Today I have the Alani Orange Kiss. Let's try this one because usually orange stuff I stay away from, but Mariana says it's good. Ooh, okay, Alani. Usually orange, it doesn't taste great, okay? Unless it's loaded with like 20 tablespoons of sugar. But this, now I can see why Mariana Reeds is a crackhead for this one. Anyways, let's rant and ramble about these books I read in January because there was a big time disappointing one, bestie. I'm still questioning if that even happened, if it's real, but yeah, let's get into it. So bestie, we kicked off the year with The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton, and in my head I still want to say The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hugo. So yeah, the audiobook became available through my library because I totally wasn't thinking of reading this year. It was like a hopeful, and am I glad I read it? Yeah. Was it enjoyable? No. No. Kicked off 2025 with a bang. DNF, the first one of the year. Oh well. Bruh. The thing with this book, I couldn't get through it. I wasn't invested. I wasn't interested. It was just like, ugh. And listen, can I tell you what it's about? No, I can't. I can't even give you a synopsis, even though that's actually not anything new here on my channel because I suck at synopsises. But what I will say is what we kind of know is obvious, right? It's about the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Duh. But anyways, the thing that I had a major problem with is the writing style. The writing style to this one was just like overwhelming. It was bland. It was overbearing even. It was tasteless. It was drier than the Sahara Desert, okay?
Now that's really dry. Look, it's just like being in the Sahara Desert. Look.
It was just too heavy. Like, I don't know. This writing is just not my style. It's not my cup of tea. A lot of people enjoyed it, but you know what? Kudos to them. You know, like, to each their own. For me, this was not it. It gives off the vibes of like a classic mystery. I never read anything by Agatha Christie, but I know that she's like an old school writer, I guess I'll say. This one I believe was inspired by that style of writing. Okay, bestie, I don't know if you hear that. Okay, but moving on. I guess it's just giving it the vibe. Somebody's over there screaming their head off, sounding like they're being murdered or whatever. I don't know if I could say that, but I guess I'll find out. And you know, it's the ambiance. And gotta love New York. I really wanted to know the whole 7.5 deaths concept.
The first thing that comes to my mind is, how the hell is there a 7.5? How do you halfly die? How is it that you have 7.5 deaths to begin with? Are you a cat? Even though, you know, like cats have 9 lives, but sometimes they don't, right? And then you're thinking like, you're a whole human. How is it that you're able to like half die? Do you just like fall and then you like, oh my God, I thought I died. And then you wake up, or you pass out and you like stop breathing for like 5 seconds, and then you're just like waking up and you're like, oh my God, that was half a death. I was very interested in this concept.
And then the other thing too is that when I got the audiobook, I continued on with the audiobook, you know, in hopes that it would save me and I could make it to the end. But no. I found the narrator absolutely boring. The narration style was not my cup of tea. I can't recommend it. I mean, obviously. Yay to starting off the year with a DNF. But you know what? That's okay, because that is one of my reading goals. If I don't enjoy a book, DNF it, girl. DNF it. DNFing is self-love. It's self-care. It protects your mental health. That's my advice for all my darklings out there too. Don't continue reading something if you're not enjoying it. DNF it, okay? New year, new you. DNFs. So bestie, you know the way I am when it comes to psychological things. So when I found out that in this one, it has like the FMC, yes, is a psychiatrist who specializes in people. Yes, in people. Okay, let's try this again. A psychiatrist who specializes in people with violent tendencies or urges, and serial killers, of course, because yes, like that usually falls there, but she specializes in helping them before they get to that point. I was like, yes, absolutely yes. Like, hello, it's me. Hi, yes. That is this one, The Good Life by A.R. Torre. This thriller was such a quick read. It had me interested. It had me engaged. And bestie, you know me, okay? And if you don't know me and you're new here, hi, how are ya? Get to know me. It's fun here, But you know that I love me some psychological madness. You know that serial killers are my jam, slashers, all that good stuff under the sun, right? Don't get me wrong. The acts. Why it sounds like I'm saying acts? The act. There we go. The act of what they do is not okay. So don't come for me, okay? What I get fascinated about is the backstory and the psychological piece of it. Like, what drives them to do what they do? To me, this delivered that. Like, I loved trying to uncover who the unaliver was with Dr. Moore and trying to figure out and piece together the inner psyche of a serial killer. The plot twist ate it all up. The plot twist, it ate and left no crumbs. With that being said, 4 stars. So this next one was actually a manga that I just stumbled upon and was like, I have to see what this is about. And I borrowed it from the library, and that is Sweat and Soap. Okay, so the premise for this one, it's pretty weird. A guy that's obsessed. He's obsessed with the smell of her sweat, hence Sweat and Soap, right?
Ew, like, what the heck, Jeannie?
I get it, okay? I'm not even going to come back at you with that. But in Natori's defense, he does create soap.
I mean, is it really a bad thing if someone's obsessed with the way you smell?
Okay, I know, it's weird, okay? It's weird. But you know what? Somehow the author made it cute. I found the romance to be so wholesome, and you want to know something, bestie? What's crazy is it had insta love vibes. I am not an insta love girly, okay? I don't vibe with that. It has to be done well. This was done well, and I just didn't mind. Like, I overlooked it because they were just so cute together. The way Natori was so in tune with Asako, it was just everything. He could discern how she was feeling by the smell of her sweat. Like, just to give an example, if something was bothering her, if she was anxious, he knew something was up because of the way her sweat smelled.
You know, it makes a lot of sense because we do give off different smells and different scents. For example, in the winter, your armpits might smell one way or might not smell at all, right? But then in the summertime, it's just funky.
I don't know if that was a good example, but you know what? Whatever. Whatever. I know that Natori could be like so intense and so obsessed and like a crackhead for Asako's scent. But you know what? I love how adorably awkward and weird this one was. And listen, this is my type of weird, okay? Therefore, I will continue with this series. Matter of fact, I already have like the next 2 volumes, and I'm gonna make sure that if there's more to it, I request them from the library. And with all of that said, I gave this a 4.5 stars. See, I just had a moment because as I was looking for the next book, I saw the most disappointing book of all that I need to talk to you about. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we'll get to that. So just being able to talk to you about this book right here, The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa, just warms my heart. In this one, we're following Nana. And listen, Okay, this is not Nana. Nana is not a black cat. Inside this edition of the book, which is the UK edition, it actually does tell you the reason why they went with this illustration. And it's mainly because of the way it was done and the fact you see like it's literally like textured.
I don't know how I feel about that, because now after reading this, I'm like, why did y'all do that? You know, like, Nana is not a black cat. Nana is a white and orange cat, and I believe he had like patches or something, whose tail is definitely not like this neither. It really upsets me because I enjoyed this book. It really makes me want to get the US version where it does have the correct color for Nana, and then I can always be like, oh, because that's Nana on the cover, but this is not Nana on the cover. I don't know who that cat is, but it don't belong there. Let's move on, because I'm going off in a tangent.
Nana will go anywhere as long as it's with his owner, Satori. The thing is, Nana doesn't really know why Satori is so keen on seeing his 3 childhood friends again. And why is that like something Nana's worrying about? Because Satori usually tells Nana everything, but he won't tell him the real reason they're on this road trip. This book was so heartwarming. Did I say heartwarming? I don't know, but heartwarming. Yes. It also was heartbreaking. You see what I did there? You know what? Okay. It definitely was a different experience for me because I got to be inside the mind of a cat. I really enjoyed Nana's first person narration. It was just so much fun to kind of like see and listen to like what the cat is thinking, the mannerisms and the attitude and the sass. Every little thing that was in here and the way Nana acted definitely reminded me of lots of cats that I've encountered, and even my own cat. There was parts that I read here that I was just like, I feel the same way about Maddie. That is exactly how Maddie looks at me. That is exactly what she's thinking. Cats just think like, you're the peasant, bow down to me. You do everything for me. Like, you know, they just give off that type of vibe compared to a dog, where like a dog looks at you like you're their everything, you know what I mean? Or like you're God, just with so much love. And a cat just kind of like, get away from me. Who said you can touch me? When I tell you that Arikawa nailed it, she definitely nailed it. The love that Nana and Satori had for each other literally warmed my heart. It even brought tears to my eyes. I'm a darkling with a cold black heart, but every now and then things like that happen, and it does melt just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. And then, you know what, I go back to my normal self. The main thing that I really loved about this one too is the way that we see how pets are and how they are with you, and that love and admiration that they have for you. When something happens, they feel your pain, and the loyalty, yes, and the love. So yeah, 4.5 stars to this one. And just talking about this one reminds me of another book that I'm going to be talking about in this wrap up that also brought tears to my eyes. But I have to tell you about this one first. Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. So Bestie, you know I have an obsession with masked men, right? Like you know, they're men like Michael Myers and Ghostface, and you know, they are slashers. But you know what? We listen and we don't judge here on this channel. That's it. So this book is very popular on BookTok, but in case you have been living under a rock or haven't come across it somehow, this one is about Allie, who happens to be a trauma nurse who has an obsession with masked men thirst trap videos. Yeah, it kind of sounds familiar to me. She's especially obsessed with one in particular, you know? I feel you, Allie. I feel you, because girl, that's me. That's me. Already me and her share the masked men obsession, you know? Like, Allie's bestie for real, for real. Anyways, then there's Josh, who is avoiding being in the limelight and being recognized. But at night, Josh becomes this masked man who does thirst trap videos so his fans can drool over. Listen, because we know there's a few of them on TikTok. That's actually reminding me of the masked thirst trap videos that Darkling M have been sending me. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that. back to this. Get it together, Genie. Cut it out. So Allie and Josh end up living their best dark fantasy life. So what can go wrong? Well, there's someone sinister who has bad intentions for Allie. I mean, what is Josh to do? Well, he has to protect the woman he's obsessed with.
You know what? Technically, this says a lot about me because it's like, give me serial killers, give me slashers, give me masked men, give me obsession. Toss that shit in a blender and I will be the first in line to buy that smoothie.
Where was I going with that? Why did I say that? Anyways, listen, when Allie said, I don't need another kink, I felt that, Bestie. I felt that, sis. Like, I get you. Me and Allie, we here. You know, we here. But you know what, Bestie? If there is one thing you take away from this review, listen to the audiobook. I tandem read this with the audiobook, and that was the best $7.49 that I spent. It just made the experience so much better than if I was just reading it. I could never bring this to life the way that Elena Wolf and Jacob Morgan did. And boy, did Jacob Morgan bring this to life. Matter of fact, his voice gave me life.
Not to mention the fact that he probably also did other things to me just with his voice alone. And like, yeah.
Now let's talk about Josh, because the things that he does and the man that he is had me thirst trapping for him. His obsessive moments, his vulnerability, his dark backstory, and then sprinkle his humor in there. Chef's kiss. It was just perfection. I love him so much. And again, Jacob Morgan made Josh, the way that he brought him to life is what made me love him even more. The way he narrated Josh and like paced certain things that Josh would say, the breathing moments, literally you can hear it. You can hear like and it was just perfect. Like, it wasn't even distracting. I've heard other audiobooks where you can hear the breathing and it's just not it. But this was intentional, and it's what made the experience even better. And listen, don't get me started on the way that Josh is with Allie's cat, Fred. We love a man that loves animals. That's just the cherry on top. He just had me swooning the whole time. If you have anything negative to say about Josh, I don't want to hear it. Keep it to yourself. Okay? Now, the problem that I did have with this, which is why I gave it 4 stars, is because I wanted more of that cat and mouse chase. I felt Allie literally figured out who Josh was. Like this. I needed more of like the dynamics of her not knowing and him teasing and that tension. I felt like I was robbed of that, you know? Then there was a moment of confusion where I kind of thought that this story was going in one direction, but then it made it all the way left. And I was just like, where this came from? You know? I was so confused. I was just like, okay, this threw me off. Either way, I still enjoyed my time with this, and I still look forward to reading the next one and finding out where the story is going to continue to go. Okay. I have this face for a reason. Okay? We're up to that book. All right. Let's set this up. Bestie, you know how you have like that anticipated release, right? To top it off, it's from like your favorite author. On top of that, your favorite author is trying a new genre. Sounds promising, right? And I'm sure, like me, your reaction would be, yes, absolutely yes. Favorite author, I will eat up and buy anything this author puts out. You read it and it's a flop. It's an epic fail. And that is what happened with The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Oh my God. Why? Why did you do this to me? Oh my God. I am like so ready to rant about this, but then I'm also in pain. Bestie, you know that I am a Grishaverse girly, okay? You know that I love the Grishaverse, okay? I mean, hello, Darkling. But this, it had me questioning things, okay? It had me in denial. Okay? It had me thinking, is this the same Leigh Bardugo? Is this an imposter? Who is this? Because it's not my Leigh Bardugo. No, no, not at all. Can't be. No, 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 no. Can't be. There was a white-haired love interest in this, and even he couldn't save it. He just couldn't. I kept thinking, is this the same Leigh Bardugo that created the loves of my lives in the Grishaverse? Darkling being number 1, Kaz Brecker being number 2, and Nikolai Lantsov being number 3. Is this the same thing? I need a minute. Leigh, are you losing your magic powers? It was painful, okay? It was painful. I will say kudos to Leigh Bardugo for writing this, because even though it's not my cup of tea and I wasn't happy about this, maybe it was somebody else's, okay? She was inspired to write this because of her family history, which it could have been magical for her and healing and fun too. Love that for her. Slay, queen. Slay.
Slay! Slay!
And don't worry, Leigh. I still love you. You're still my top queen, okay? Okay. The other thing that really bothered me about this one is that there was like so many plot holes and so many like unanswered questions. The protagonist has these flowers. These powers, yes, but that she has no clue about it. And it's like, girl, if you have no clue about it, the fuck, how am I supposed to know about it? Like, what? I'm supposed to know through you. It felt like things were just like handed to her. It was just provided for the sake of getting through the plot, regardless of the fact that we're still confused and things are missing and we still don't know certain things of the book. It was just done in a way where it kind of just felt like, okay, this is convenient. Well, I don't know what to do with it, so it's just gonna stay like that. And hopefully my readers will just look past it and love me enough to just kind of be like, you know what? It's okay. No, no, no. No, 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 no. You didn't fool some of us, Leigh. I'm sorry. I see you. Of course, you know, there's people that gave 5 stars to this. I'm happy for you. However, sometimes when it comes to like a very popular author, I feel like sometimes people just kind of gloss over things just because it's a popular author. Not here. I don't do. I don't do. I'm very blunt and straightforward, and here we are. If you haven't figured by now, bestie, I am definitely the villain for this one. This one was a DNF. Trust me, I tried. I wanted to DNF it early on, and I was like, but this is Leigh Bardugo. I can't do that to my queen. And then I just couldn't anymore. And I believe I stopped at like chapter 12 or something like that. It really makes me sad, but yeah. After that, I needed something that was going to have me have hope for the rest of the year. I decided to go for Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. All I think of is like how much I love The House on the Cerulean Sea. TJ Klune doesn't steer me wrong. Except for what's that book called? The other book that he made with the wolves. Wolf Song. Yes, Wolf Song. And you know what? I'm planning to read that again because I did enjoy it. I think that it was a bad time for me to read that.
I really want those beautiful sprayed edges that Barnes & Noble has, and they're all so beautiful, and I really need those sprayed edges. I did enjoy the characters and what was happening, and I know that there were certain things that was repeated, but it's TJ Klune, okay? And I can look past that because it's TJ Klune, and I do enjoy his writing style. But why am I going off on a tangent with that when I should be talking about Under the Whispering Door? Okay, yes, let's go back into this.
A Reaper collects Wallace from his own funeral. Wallace then starts to realize that he's actually dead. So in the afterlife, he meets Hugo, who's a owner of like a peculiar we know how it goes here, you know, with Jeannie. The words just never word, you know, the brain just don't be braining. Vocabulary, who needs it? We're gonna try that again, and we're gonna go slowly because that tends to work for me. Peculiar. You know what? Just, you get it. Tea shop, okay? It's a tea shop. Hugo promises to help Wallace understand what's going on and help him cross over. However, Wallace isn't ready to leave his life behind, no matter how shitty it was, to be honest. He's given 1 week to cross over. So he sets about living a lifetime in just 7 days.
I solemnly swear that I was not up at 3 a.m. reading, sobbing, ugly crying, and possibly dying over this book.
This book explores the themes of life and death, how we tend to take things for granted and like even people for granted because we prioritize so many other things in life. We just like forget the things that are most important. Because of the fact that we do those things, our life kind of just passes us by. If anybody could write things like that, it's TJ Klune. Yes. The way that TJ Klune is able to put me in a chokehold with these lovable characters is mind-blowing to me. How does he do it? He's genius, okay? Like, don't get me wrong, okay? I didn't like Wallace in the beginning. At first, I felt like it was kind of funny until things happened, and then I was just like, yo, you're such an asshole. Oh my God. Wow. You're just a horrible person. But what's amazing is how Klune is able to kind of like, I don't know, put a spell on you, weave some magic, do voodoo on you, whatever it is that he does with his books. And then like he's able to flip it. And then you're like, wait, I grown to love that character. That is exactly what happened with Wallace. Don't even get me started with the chemistry between all the characters, like this found family. It's literally what makes this book magical. I can't even say that I didn't fall in love with every character. May the Reaper, amazing. Like, I love her sass and her sarcasm. And oh my God, Nelson, I loved him too. Hugo, such a sweetheart. It's just all of them, okay? Like every single character in this, it was hard. It's hard not to love them. If you didn't fall in love with them, I mean, your heart is probably blacker than mine. I love them. It literally reminded me of the love that I have for the children and Linus in The House in the Cerulean Sea. This was giving me that same feeling that I feel for those characters. I definitely have to do a reread. I just do. The way that the character development was done. Chef's kiss. It just flowed, you know, like nothing was forced. The way that Wallace grew as a character and it was so naturally done was everything. That's the magic that Klune sprinkles into these pages, that it just makes you fall in love with these characters. After so long of searching, yearning for a 5-star read, Mr. Klune gave it to me. He was the first 5-star read. And I don't even know how long. I don't even know when the last time it was that I had a 5-star read. I was drier than the Sahara Desert looking for a 5-star read. You know what? That didn't work, but it's okay. Anyways, I don't even think this is a 5-star read. I think this is like on par with The House of the Cerulean Sea. Sometimes we need a book that's going to give you a hug, but also make you ugly cry. And you know what? This book definitely did that, and I can't wait for everybody to read this one just so we can ugly cry together when we talk about it. So yeah, I have nothing more for you, but I know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go and look at those mass thirst trap videos that Bestie M sent me. So yeah.